Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart Life as a Dad and a 35-year cancer survivor, available on Amazon. A couple of videos ago, I recorded a TikTok on what I called the list of late side effects that I have developed over the years from my chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and even some surgeries related to my Hodgkin's lymphoma. I want to stress not everybody develops these late side effects. Some may develop one or two, some may develop even more. But the problem is that we don't know what can develop if it develops at all. In fact, there are quite possibly people out there that haven't developed anything. But then again, we don't know. They can be going through life without any worry, but confused why there's some things that are happening that don't match their demographic, such as heart issues when you're young and basically healthy. There are things that don't make any sense, but when you put in your cancer history with it, it might shine some direction which way to handle those situations. I do want to stress, as I always point out, I'm not a doctor. I'm simply relating my experiences as a cancer survivor. Now, one of the things that I stress in that list, I went through my entire body and all the issues that I deal with. Now, it looks overwhelming because it is a lot, but I've been able to arrange things and take care of things in a way that I'm not overwhelmed. I haven't seen an oncologist now in 32 years. So all my care has been provided by a primary care doctor. And that's what I strongly encourage cancer survivors to continue with once you're done with your oncologist. Arm yourself with the knowledge of things to look out for, research, your chemotherapy treatments, your radiation treatments, and the potential side effects that you may have to deal with, and point them out to your primary care doctor if they're not aware of these late side effects. And then it's just a matter of setting up a surveillance plan with your primary care doctor. Now, in my case, because I already have everything figured out, and by the way, that the list, took all of the 10 minutes for me to list everything that I deal with, and I still had to go into the comments to list a couple of other things. Okay, so as far as my care with that long list, okay, I see more than just my primary care doctor. I actually have a team of doctors, and I'll explain how I see them. But of course, I have a dentist, I have a cardiologist, a pulmonologist, an endocrinologist, a cardiovascular specialist, a gastroenterologist, an ophthalmologist, and a physiatrist. And all of them together are go through my primary care doctor. My primary care doctor basically is the conductor of my late effect orchestra. So he's got the responsibility of keeping everything together, paying attention to who's doing what and what to watch out for. He is my main health advocate at this point. Now, of course, you may be thinking with all those doctors that I listed, my God, all your appointments, all your life is nothing but doctor appointments. No. I'm at the point where I am seen basically twice a year for most of them. One of them I see only once a year. But basically, what I do is I dedicate 3 or 4 days for each of those year visits. So twice a year, I set up 3 to 4 days, and that's when I see them all. And it's during that 3 or 4 day period where I will have all kinds of lab work done, scans if they want, and that could be ultrasounds, echocardiograms, CAT scans, everything else. Um, and basically they're just for comparing to prior visits, prior lab and scan results to see if anything has progressed and needs to be dealt with at that point. Um, so other than that, I pretty much go through till my next visit 6 months later with my fingers crossed and just continuing to take the medications that those doctors want me to take to continue things on. It really isn't that bad. I enjoy life. I'm having a good time. I'm watching my daughters do things, become adults. Like I said, one's going to graduate from college this year. The other one will graduate next year. I never thought I would see this day. Um, Especially as a cancer survivor, but some of the late side effects that I had to deal with, if they weren't caught in time as they were, I definitely would not be seeing these events in my life today. And for that, I'm definitely very grateful as a cancer survivor, heart survivor, and everything else survivors. Um, Again, I want to stress not everybody has to deal with these issues, but because we have no way of knowing if you're going to be the lucky one or not. I know I felt that way for 18 years before my heart started going cuckoo. And that could have been a fatal issue for me. So I've learned that it's best to stay on top of these issues. If you know they exist, if they start popping up, deal with them head on, manage them, treat them however. But it gives you your best chance at long term survival. Like I said, my book says 35 years, but I'm technically out 37 now. And I'm steamrolling towards 40 years, and that's one of my goals. I have a couple others that I'd like to see. I'd love to be a 50-year survivor. I know plenty of other survivors who are in remission 50 years. So that would be great to get to that point. But I'm taking my milestones one at a time. And my next one is my daughter graduating from college. So there is so much more to life after you're done with cancer. Okay, I don't want you to think it's nothing but cancer. You got to get through your follow ups, your 5 years of follow ups. I just wrote a story on my blog called The Sword of Damocles, which is a reference to mythology, legend of a king who, had an admirer named Damocles who thought it must be great to be the king, and the king agreed to let Damocles sit on his throne, but directly above the throne was a sword suspended from the ceiling by one strand of horsehair that could break at any point. And the point was to understand that there are all kinds of dangers sitting on that throne. And that pretty much is how I would describe being the life of a cancer survivor, especially when you go through those 5 years. You never know when that sword is going to drop. You're always worried about relapses and stuff like that. That gets easier, as the years go on. Your first year is going to be the toughest. We've all been there worrying about symptoms that are similar to what we experienced before. But those symptoms will get better. Your appointments will get further apart. Okay, you're going to have less scans, and then you're going to hit that 5 year mark. And you want to live your life after Hodgkin's, but you need to be proactive with that. And that means keeping in touch with your primary care doctor, okay, using any kind of support that you can get as far as providing information. I constantly reference the Children's Oncology Group at survivorshipguidelines.org. Again, don't worry about the name Children's, okay? The recommendations that they make in there cover many different kinds of chemo, regardless of your age, and of course, radiation therapy, immunotherapy, surgeries, and stuff like that. You can get a lot of surveillance information to give to your primary care doctor to help keep an eye what to look out for. Doctors aren't a bad thing. Even seeing them once a year just to look for this stuff, or however often they feel necessary. Okay, but it's understandable to want to be done. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to continue on. I'm getting ready for the Super Bowl tomorrow. And until next time, this is Paul's Heart.